Welcome everyone to the Zone to Talk podcast. I read this great quote from Alex Hormozy, and it goes something like the single greatest skill a person can develop is the ability to remain in a great mood, even when there are no external reasons or specific things to feel good about. Took me a few minutes to sit back and think on this. It is a great quote, but then I realized that can I modify this for based on my personal experience? Um, and and I wrote something like this: you can't always be in a great mood all the time, even if you wish for it. What matters is how quickly you bounce back from being in a bad state to your normal baseline. Um, it's impossible from my perspective not to go into the bad mode. Let me give you an example. If I open my Twitter or X application and scroll through it, the algorithm is so vicious that I see a lot of things that elevate my mood from my normal baseline to either sad or being agitated. And I have to, when I've deviated from my baseline and when I realize it, I close the application and it takes some amount of time for me to come back to my normal state. And I was wishing that when I close the application, I would be able to come back to my normal state as quickly as possible. There are a few things that I do that would help me regulate my mood. And one of the things would be to do some sort of a physical exercise, like go for a run um, or or go to the gym and do and lift some weights. It's like my bad mood washing machine, you can say. It cleanses off my bad mood and I get to wear my baseline again and feel fresh. Um, but while I was thinking about it, when I go to the gym and do some physical exercise, why do I get back to my normal state? Is it not that my hormones are regulated? So does that mean my mood is completely dependent on my hormones? Is it all the serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, all the dance of these chemicals that influence how I behave or influences my mood? Or is there something else going on? If my hormones are out of balance, can I still be in a great mood? Or if my hormones are balanced, can I be in a bad mood? These were also some additional questions. What would be the answer to this question? And I did some reading about it um, and found out that there is also this angle of mindset um, along with the hormones that plays a key factor in determining the mood of an individual. Um, when we talk about mood, it's tempting to pin it just on one thing, but the truth is that mood arises from this dynamic interplay between body and the mind. On one hand, our biology does matter. The hormones and the brain chemistry set the stage for shaping the baseline, uh, and they can help us push towards certain directions. It could be that if you are doing a lot of exercise or doing a lot of physical activity, you could be in a state of calmness or you could be in a state of steadiness. In contrast, if you're eating a lot of junk food and being a couch potato, you could potentially have a high level of anxiety or a high level of stress. This is just based on my a reflection of my personal self. I wanted to put this in some sort of an analogy. So if we consider this podcast, for example, hormones would be something like the audio settings, the video settings, the the back the background visuals. If it could be that if the dopamine is high, the background setting could be brighter. If I have a high level of serotonin, the the background could be a bit calmer or a bit steady. But then there is also an angle of mindset, which is the host of the podcast. Even with like the extremely well-funded settings, the audio, the microphones, the lightings, you could have a guest that is blabbering nonsense, and it could ruin the entire feeling of the podcast. Or it could be the other way around, that the host is speaking as a very good content, but the microphone setting is so bad that readers are not able to listen to it. So it's when the combination of these two happens precisely is when the perfect human experience can be realized or can be experienced. And then you can relate to what Alex Hormozzi said in the beginning. Being that would be the greatest skill that you could have, is having the understanding or being in the best combination of these two things of mindset and hormones. So yes, we should on one hand take care of our hormone health, like sleep, diet, exercise, but we are just not the prisoners of our hormones. We are active participants in the mind-body conversation, and more we understand both the sides, the hormonal side as well as the mindset side, um, the more freedom we have in shaping our emotions and well-being, no matter what the situations or whatever the card we have dealt with. Everyone talks about eating clean, cutting out processed food, eating healthy meals, mainly because it would make the individual feel better. Your energy is smoother, your mood is stable. But then, based on my personal experience, it generally tends to be in this loop way wherein you cut out unnecessary processed food, you feel good, and then there will be a time wherein you're like, it's been so long that I have been doing so good. Let me treat myself with something sugary. And bam, all of a sudden you are in this cycle of eating sugary food and you have deviated from your baseline, and it takes time for you to come back to the normal. The point here being, I was listening to this wisdom podcast, and they said something fascinating. It's not just what we eat with our mouths, it's what we eat with our minds that also influences us as individuals. And that's the concept of information diet. And this was the first time I heard this word and this concept. Um, and it was also said that if you tell me the last 5 podcasts that you listened to, I can pretty much tell you who you are and what you want to do. That was also quite interesting. Because just like the junk food wrecks your energy, I feel junk information also wrecks your focus. Like what you watch, what you scroll, what you listen to, it's shaping your mental chemistry the same way what you eat shapes your physical chemistry. Twitter, Instagram, or social media algorithms can at times feed great information. But on the other hand, if you like something dumb or if you share something weird, the algorithm picks on it. And all of a sudden, you see a lot more of that dumb thing or the content that you shared popping up. And that could lead to a lot of fluffy information, or it could lead to a lot of noise that you are um, feeding into your daily life. That could distort you as or distort your base identity. And all of this actually reminds me of my favorite series, Severance. It's on Apple TV. Please do watch it if you have time. The whole idea is that there's a chip that goes into an individual's brain that would sever um, the individual's memory. And when the individual visits the workplace, also called as an INI, they would forget about their out the world experience. And when they come out of the work and go into their social life, the Audi, they forget about the the work life. And on paper, it sounds super nice that there's a differentiation between work life and professional life, or work life and private life, and there is no intertwining thoughts. But then in the series, you'll be able to see the dark side of this. So mood kind of works in the same way. Like you can't sever hormones from your mindset. Biology sets the stage, like I said, sets the baseline, but then the mindset or the psychology is where the dialogues are written down, or the quality of the dialogues that shape the entire play. That's the combination of these two things that would make it truly great. So that's why the skill isn't avoiding the bad mood, in my experience. It's just trying your best to shorten the lifespan. Um, like I said, for me, running is bad mood washing machine. It could be something else for you. But the bigger picture is the constant loop of what we eat, what we watch, what we listen to. All this feeds to our biology and psychology. And that is the information diet that I wanted to talk today. And before I wrap this up, that is like a thought-provoking question to all of you. So next time you open your social media, you might ask yourself, what are you feeding your mind today? Is it just the junk food, or are you trying to feed something nutritious in terms of information? Because just like the food, your mental diet decides tomorrow's mood. And with that, thank you for listening to today's episode. And as always, talk in Danish. And Jai Hind.